Welcome to Smackie's Garage. Today we're going to be continuing our session on getting the snowmobile ready for winter. We're going to be adjusting the snowmobile track here and making sure that it's aligned. It's important that your snowmobile is in good shape when you're getting ready for winter. One of the things that is important to check every year is your snowmobile track tension. The tension is essentially how tight is that belt on the skid and the bogey wheels. One of the ways that we're going to walk through how to check the track tension today is with a special tool. It's going to be a tool that is spring-loaded that essentially tells you how much pressure you're putting on the track, and then you measure what's that amount of deflection that you're seeing. So we're going to go ahead and use this tool to set the tension. So we're going to lift it up using some sort of jack on the back. I use this jack here that I got off Amazon. You can use 2x4s, you can use 2x6s, you can use a specialized jack, but whatever way you're going to do it, you're going to need to get the snowmobile up in the air. So let's go ahead and start adjusting the snowmobile track. Now that the track is in the air, it should pretty much spin freely if you were to try to pull on it. Okay, so now that we're in the air, we're going to look at kind of how to adjust it. So this here is the snowmobile track tension tool. On the snowmobile track tension tool, there's two scales. You have your inches over here, and then you have your pressure or pounds of force that you're putting down over here. So what we're going to do on my sled, look at the manual, we're supposed to have 1.5 inches of travel, and that is supposed to be at 16 pounds. So we're going to put this top O-ring here at 1.5 inches, or it'll be the bottom because we're going to push down on it like this. And then we're going to set this one to 16 pounds of force. So we're going to go back to the track and we're going to take a look at, make sure we're at the right place still. So 16 pounds of force, 1.5 inches of travel. What we're going to do is we're going to find a point in the middle of the travel here, the point where this is going to be at the lowest, and then we're going to push down on this till this hits 1.5 inches. And then this reading here should be at 16 pounds of force. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we're going to push down on the track using the track tension tool to look at the deflection. So here you can see we're 1.5 inches of deflection at 16 pounds of force. If we need to make an adjustment to the travel, what we're going to have to do is we're going to pop these off with a screwdriver, and then we're going to loosen them. We're not going to take them out, we're just going to loosen them. After they're loose, then they have some free play where they will be able to move backwards and forwards. They won't be tight against a skid. So this screw here is going to move this back wheel, so both of these back wheels, forward and back. So one of the things that we noticed is when we did this, the tension was the same on both sides. So 16 pounds here, 16 pounds there at 1.5 inches. So we want to make sure that it stays the same. So any adjustment that we need to do here, we're going to do on the other side as a starting point to make sure that it's correct and to make sure everything stays lined up. When we start turning these, when this wheel here starts going backwards, we're adding more tension to the track itself. When this wheel starts going forward, we're loosening the track. After you're done, you want to tighten everything back up. So we're going to come up here, we're going to tighten this screw up, we're going to tighten that screw back up. After you set a baseline track tension of where you want to be, you need to start the sled and get the track moving. I like to start it up, run it, get the speed up to 20 miles per hour on the track. Don't want to hit the brake when you're letting it slow down after you got it up to speed, because you want this to move freely and you don't want to slow it down artificially. So after you've done that, go ahead and recheck that track tension. If it's still where you want it to be or close to where you want it to be, you're good to go. Then we're going to need to adjust the alignment. The alignment is adjusted by the same screws that you've been using. So it's with the track wheels in the back still loose, you're going to need to adjust this left and right kind of unevenly until you get the track to the right location. To be able to tell what the right location is, you try to measure the amount of gap between the left side of the skid in the track and the right side of the skid in the track. I try to get it as close as possible, but realistically, I never get it perfect. I'll watch it out on the trail to see, is the alignment still good or not? It's one of those things you want to do a quick visual inspection on each time that you're riding. All right, now that I'm completely smoked out of the garage after running it, Doors are open, gonna let air out. Thanks for tuning in today on Smack's Garage. Don't forget to subscribe.